Hey guys, welcome back to James King. Today we're going to be discussing the 2020 presidential election with my 2020 presidential election prediction. This is going to be one of two segments that I do. The second one I'll do right before the election. Um, I'm going to be using RCP, Real Clear Politics polls, an average of polls. Um, I've left blank some of the things that are potentially that have the potential to go one way or the other. Um, So some of these are the way that 270 to win has them. Um, there are states I think that are going to be solid. I mean, not that they are solidly blue, but that is how I think they're going to vote. I'm going to go ahead and fill those in because I do believe that they are going to go the way they are predicted. Now, Maine, which obviously their electoral votes are split between two districts, I actually think Biden and Harris are going to win both of those. So that is actually going to entirely to them. All right. So now we get into the states that um, have some potential to change. And Texas, I left red, even though on a Democratic pipe dream, they're imagining they could win it. I don't think that's this election. I think that's 10 to 15 years out. Honestly, you're looking at 3 to 4 election cycles. I mean, that's just my opinion. Um, Not that things can't change, um, you know, but in the circumstances I see now, I think that is actually going to um, remain red for a little bit. Um, Now, as you can see with the polls here, um, assuming just this, Biden is at 260, Trump's at 162. That is how slanted the polls are right now. Um, a case can always be made for um, the polls are wrong. They were wrong in 2016. Um, it kind of depends what you mean the polls were wrong. Some of the state polls were wrong. That's true. But the national polls, Hillary Clinton was supposed to win by, 2.5, 3%. She ended up winning the popular vote by 3 million votes. It wasn't really wrong. Um, it was actually really close. It's just the electoral college doesn't work that way. But you look at the national polls now. Um, let me actually get you the exact number real quick because this is fascinating. Um, let's see. Okay, the RCP national average of polls: Biden 51.6 to Trump 41.6, 10.0, 10 points. Okay, nationally, and they were basically right last time. So, I mean, the idea that the margin of error is 10 points, um, or that it's 5 and swings to the maximum both directions. Biden is going to win the popular vote in this election unless voter turnout is really, really low. Unfortunately for Republicans, Democrats are voting ahead of time in massive numbers relative to prior years. What's going to matter on the Republican side is if Democrats show up, if the Democrats who didn't vote early show up on election day and they have turnout on election day that's strong, um, it'll be over. Because Trump does have a very strong base it is basically unmovable. However, if the Democrats win the left and the middle, it's just a numbers game. Um, so the thing is, Trump has to win all of these states, and you know, here's the thing. I think Biden's going to win Arizona. I think Trump is going to hold on in Iowa. So look at this. Let's see, where's we did Maine, and what do I have? Iowa, there we go. Okay, Iowa, RCP average. Okay, Biden is up 1.2 on the average. Okay, you've got polls with Biden +5, Biden +2, Trump +3, Biden +3, tie. So yes, I'm going against the polls in this instance, and this is just how I feel about Iowa and how it trends over the elections. It's really hard for a Democrat to win Iowa, and I don't think that they will this time, but it will be close. Arizona, look, you've got Biden on the average 2.7 up. There is one of the larger polls, actually the largest poll on here of likely voters has Trump +4. Every other poll is Biden 2, Biden 6, Biden 8, Biden 4, and tie. Based on largely the amount of money being spent, as well as the fact that the Democratic Party, especially Bernie Sanders, the work that they did in the primary with Latino voters, maybe not exclusively, but certainly helpful. I think that Biden 2.7 is going to hold. I think that's Arizona. I think that's locked up. All right, let's see. We got Georgia. Now, on the RCP average of polls, Georgia is literally tied. It's Trump 0.4. You do have 2 polls on here with Biden +1, Biden +3. You've got some 3 Trump +2s and a Trump +1. I think Trump holds Georgia. I hate to bring voter suppression into it, but Georgia's pretty well locked up. The Republicans do not want to lose Georgia, and they do everything they can to not lose Georgia. I won't get too much into that, but I think Georgia's going to stay red. But you do have a population that is trending half and half. So the election after that, I think Georgia's going to end up on a blue streak at some point. That's going to shock people, but I don't think it'll be this election. Now, here's where things get interesting, okay? Because technically, right here, Biden's already won. He doesn't have to win any of these other states, okay? And this is what happens when someone's up +10. It's gonna +10 on the popular vote is gonna equate to a ridiculous electoral college win. Let's look at Florida, okay? Florida's, what is it? Currently Biden +3.7. Every single poll has him up except for one Trump +3 and a tie. You've got him up as much as 11, 6, 4, 4, 4, 3. With all the re-enfranchisement of felons in Florida, as well as the interesting swing of the older demographic back towards Biden, 3.7 isn't as comfortable as I'm sure he'd like, but you have polls coming out now with him +10 in Florida. Unless some polls come out that show me anything else, if seniors come out for Biden, it's over for Trump in Florida. Now, North Carolina, let's see what we've got here. Well, let's do Pennsylvania first. Okay, Pennsylvania, Biden's going to win Pennsylvania, okay? There is not a single poll that has come out where oh my goodness. Yeah, so Biden's going to win Pennsylvania. Getting into those Pennsylvania polls, it's currently got us on the average of polls is Biden +7, all the way up. There are polls with Biden 13, Biden 11. There's 3 different 7s. It goes as low as 2. But I don't see it. I think Biden's going to win. There's not a single tie, Trump, nothing. The spread is 0.7. So, I mean, or not 0.7, 7. You're already getting in, talking about landslide territory. North Carolina, okay? North Carolina is an interesting one because the average of polls has them at 2.7. The last 3 polls are 4, 4, 4, and then you've got 2, tie 2, okay? I am going to put this as Republican, despite the fact that the closest it even gets is a tie. I may change that on the second video. However, right now, this is a gut feeling. I will make my final prediction at the time, but North Carolina is, for all intents and purposes, a southern state, and I don't 100% trust, a lot of these, when you, I don't know, like I said, it's a gut feeling. I'm not going to try and justify it, but if polling continues this way, if right before the election there's no polling showing me something different at all, I will probably move it to Democratic, but I at this time will be a little conservative with that, saying that it is going to go Republican. All right, Ohio is the only thing we got left. Ohio is an interesting case. Okay, so it's Biden plus 0.6. You've got a Biden +1, a Trump +4, a tie, a Biden 5, and a Biden 1. Now, I will say the better numbers for Trump have come more recently with high likely voter counts. So, like the Trump +4 is 1,035 likely voters. The tie is 1,114 likely voters. Those are 2 of the higher number surveys that they've done. So, who knows? Even though it's Biden 0.6, I am going to put a Republican. I would be surprised if it didn't go Republican, but yeah, like I said, I'm not going to get into some of that detail. I'm going with gut feelings in this one because it's not my final election prediction. So here's what it looks like. I don't personally consider this a landslide, but it would be a very, very strong win. Okay. The problem is for Trump that Biden doesn't need any of the swing states. Like if he wins Arizona, goodbye. He wins 271. Trump can have all of the swing states except for one, and then if Biden wins a couple, it's over. And yeah, you're going to say, well, Michigan, Wisconsin, some of these states are swings. No, they're not. Not based on this polling. And you can come tell me, oh, well, polling isn't right. I promise you, the polling is not 8 points wrong. It's just not. It's not 8 points wrong in every state. So, like I said, there were a couple of states where polling was wrong as 2016, and that's right. But those states, it doesn't even matter if he loses them. He could lose them all. There's too many states with the polling being way, way in Biden's favor. And I make no judgments, Republican, Democrat. I'm an independent. I'm not picking sides. What I'm saying is, based on the numbers, it's not even going to be close because, yeah, it could swing Trump's direction in all of the swing states and it'd be really close to a tie, but Biden would still win. He would still win unless Trump was stealing states with 15-point swings, and that's not going to happen. And on the other hand, if it swings the other way, you know, he takes a Georgia, a North Carolina, you know, a couple states that he could take, then it's a landslide. And that's only, you know, 2 of 10 swing states. So, I don't know. I think these numbers, it will be somewhere in here, but it could actually be even better for Biden and worse for Trump. So we'll see. This is what I say it'll look like a week after the election, but because, you know, it's election week now, not election day. We'll see. I want to keep rambling about it, but I'll do another video. Probably, November 3rd is the election, so maybe the 27th, Tuesday before that. We'll see. All right. Stay safe, guys.